Thanks for listening to Dog Dish. Before we start, we'd like to say thanks to our sponsors. Porter's Pride is a raw, premium pet food with meats and vegetables locally sourced in the Pacific Northwest. Porter's Pride will ensure freedom from allergies, healthy weight loss, an increase in energy, and a reduction in the amount of stool produced. Find out more, check out Porter's Pride at porterspriderawdiet.com. That's porterspriderawdiet.com. And thanks to Addiction Pet Foods, they offer a complete range of cutting-edge foods that provide the most advanced hyperallergenic nutrition for dogs and cats around the world. Addiction is proud to have innovated the concept of using premium proteins such as free-range venison, salmon, kangaroo, and brushtail. Addiction Pet Foods. We go to the ends of the earth for your pets.
And thank you to our newest sponsor, Manning & Associates, not your typical accounting firm. For the last 13 years, Manning & Associates has supported our local community with general, forensic, and tax accounting to individuals and businesses. Located at the corner of North 26th and Proctor Streets in Tacoma, Manning & Associates takes the stress out of your day-to-day accounting and allows you to sleep better at night. Call them today at 253-752-3920 and mention this ad and get 15% off your 2016 tax preparation. Manning & Associates, not your typical accounting firm.
I'm Deborah Rosen. For the past 15 years, as founder and owner of Good Citizen Dog, I've been helping people to train their dogs using the science of canine behavior. What I'm going to do is help you create peaceful living with your dog.
Hi, I'm Dina. I'm producing Dog Dish with Deborah. I've been training dogs for over 10 years with the Good Citizen philosophy, and together we will help you create peaceful living with your dog.
Hey, Dina.
Hey, Deborah.
I am so happy to be with you today.
I am excited to be here today, too. This is near and dear because it actually was something I had to deal with Breeze that I'd never had to deal with before.
Right.
So, drum roll, please.
Counter surfing.
I think a lot of us have a problem with counter surfing.
I'm having a lot of it right now with my puppy classes.
I can imagine puppies are very interested in anything that's on a counter.
Anything and everything, especially if they lack impulse control.
I'm not sure I know a puppy that has impulse control.
Well, they don't come with it.
No.
That's the thing. They're not special ordered. You can't custom order them.
And
I want this puppy with impulse control.
That's an anomaly. I have seen a puppy here or there in a puppy class that you can't get to actually get up and do the behavior to get him to stop it. So you're
right.
Like, look, you're lucky. Just be glad you're the 1 in 35.
Your puppy's not jumping today.
That's right.
Be grateful.
That's right.
But yeah, no, counter surfing is one of those behaviors that if your puppy is a natural jumper, if they're naturally inquisitive, if they are just curious about and busy about every little thing, then they're going to get into stuff. They're going to jump up on things and they are going to start grabbing them. And every time they successfully grab a thing off a surface, and a counter can be a coffee table. It doesn't have to be your kitchen counter. It's just a term meaning your puppy inappropriately grabs things that aren't his or hers.
In areas that you don't want them to
Correct.
be. Now, we've all seen the videos. I'm reminded of the 2 beagles in the kitchen that literally pushed a chair out from the table to the counter to get up onto the counter, to jump to the other counter, to open the cabinet, to get the treats off the 3rd shelf.
That's crazy.
It took them 5.5 minutes and 10 tries, but they won't give up if they want that.
Not a beagle.
No.
And who says beagles aren't smart?
Oh, they're too smart. They're just way too smart and too intent on and executing their intelligence.
Yeah, right. Right. Well, they're dogged.
They're
like that.
I do. That was
anyway,
very punny.
Yeah, very punny. So anyway, while we're making ourselves laugh here, folks, you're sitting there wondering, when are we going to get to the meat of the subject? And one of the things that you have to train dogs to do is leave it.
My favorite command of all time, leave it.
Yeah.
Leave it.
Right.
Leave it.
And how do you do this? So basically, we start this off in the first class in our puppy kindergarten class, and we have a treat in our hand. We have the puppy in a sit position because then they're looking up at us, and we offer it the treat without really offering it by saying, leave it. So you say it in a certain way with a certain facial expression, Dina.
And we've talked about that before, where the body language and the facial expression and the tone all give those cues that are important for us to impart in that situation.
Exactly. And basically, folks, you have to say, leave it, without a question mark at the end.
Leave it?
Yeah.
Oh, leave it.
Yeah.
Could you leave it?
Can you leave it?
No.
Yep. This is no place to be soft. Yes, you're telling it to a puppy, but you want the puppy to get very clear about what is theirs and what is not theirs. You know, what I do is I help people understand how much to make this a part of your day-to-day life, putting in exercises every day in and around the kitchen or on other surfaces where things may appear, things that may or may not belong there with a puppy.
And come and go. One minute it's a big, huge turkey, and the next minute the counter's empty, but I'm always looking because you never know when the turkey's coming back.
Correct. Or the cheese platter on the coffee table.
That's right.
Right? And so you basically want to plant things, set things up so that you can rehearse and practice what you want the puppy to do. So for example, in puppy classes, I put different kinds of surfaces at different levels down. I'll turn a crate upside down or a food bowl upside down or a box, and I'll put little treats on top of it, and we'll have the dogs on leash so that we can control them. And we wander about it. We integrate a walking exercise with a leave it exercise. And as we're going toward the object with the food on top of it, if the dog looks at the food object, we'll give it a leave it. And if they leave it very, very quickly and look back at us, they get the treat anyway, but out of our hand.
Yes.
So they aren't invited to help themselves, but we quickly reward or reinforce the behavior with the treat that they would otherwise be getting, which might seem a little counterintuitive, but what happens is the dog learns that by ignoring what's on a surface, which means it's not theirs, and by looking at us for instruction or direction, they're going to ultimately get what they want anyway. It's actually operant conditioning,
Oh,
Dina.
it's so exciting.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is conditioning as a result of the consequences of their behavior. They make a choice to leave the treat on the box alone and look back at me to get the treat that I have to give them from my hand. And that's what I want. I want dogs not to help themselves to things that are on the ground that might make them ill. I don't want them to graze on whatever they see in front of them. I want them to learn to leave it.
If you don't give it, it hasn't devastated the dog's life. It just
Right.
didn't get it. And
Right.
then it moves on. So try to take
and
that emotion out.
Take this opportunity to do training instead.
Yes.
Don't give dogs rewards for nothing at all or just because it's there. Give the dog something because it's worked for it, which it enjoys. Dogs enjoy work. They want work. They need work. And without it, they get bored and
Destructive.
destructive.
But you give them a job and they work, and then they go and lay down happy and tired, so you get to have your evening back.
That's right. That's right.
And one of the things that Deborah taught me to do when I trained that I really, really love, and this was in the second level class when there's a little more teeth involved, was we would take your very quality bully stick. And because it was smooth and long, I could go take it and it could go in the mouth, but I could easily slide it out with a leave it and hold it in front of them.
Well, actually, there's actually a little bit more to that one.
Please tell them about that. 'Cause that's my favorite one.
It's actually leave it, take it, mine.
Yes.
Yeah. You start out with the bully stick in front of them. You tell them leave it so they don't get it yet. They only get it when you say,
take it.
They take it.
And we have a high pitch for take
it,
but
yeah.
we have a low pitch for leave it.
Right? And take it becomes the invitation, which is why you want to raise your voice up. You're going to say mine with some assertiveness.
Excellent. Now, I generally pull that treat out from the side of the mouth, slightly out, so it's not in the front and being held onto really hard.
And ultimately, Dina, what we want is the dog to actually open the mouth and do what we call release, willingly release the object. I've got to tell you the story about Milo.
Oh, I love stories.
Milo is a double doodle. Do you know what a double doodle is?
I do, and I'm in heaven because one doodle is really good. Two doodles has to be amazing.
So, folks, this is a Labradoodle Golden Doodle cross. So their hair is so soft. And Milo, who is one of the sweetest creatures ever, he's about, 45 pounds. He did not want to release this one weird little bone object. And it was just this one thing. It was a factory manufactured synthetic type of bone thing.
But it was his.
It was his high value. And if anyone came near him to take it, he would try to snap at them. This sweet, kind little doodle thing.
Double doodle,
right. And so I went and did a full hour on just this one issue. By the end of the hour, not only was Milo releasing this weird little bone, he was actually spitting it out of his mouth.
Nice.
Yeah, it was
Right, so this is perfect. In the beginning, we're not going to wrench it out, but they may not release it, and we have to work and have patience and be consistent with our timing and our tonalities and our body languages, and understand that we're dealing with our 2 to 3 year olds when we're doing these training tips. And take your time. Understand that we're learning, and it will get better, just like with Milo.
That's right.
In an hour.
That's right.
In an hour. How many people do you work with for a year before they don't get what's going on?
Oh, I know.
Right?
I know. Well, listen, folks, this has been how to deal with counter surfing and getting a good leave it. And really, most of all, if you want your dog not to reinforce or have behaviors reinforced that you don't like, clean the countertops. Don't leave things lying around, even for a split second. Those cookies that just came out of the oven, not only are they hot and filled with chocolate, which the dog shouldn't eat, but, it just gives the dog more of an opportunity to do and have the wrong thing happen.
That's
the first thing I'll say. The second thing is really start working on impulse control.
And getting ahead of it. One of the other tips I wanted to offer that Deborah does real quick, and I think we'll go into this on another podcast, is giving them their own special spot when you're busy and they're wanting to be in the way. So let's save that for a different podcast.
I agree.
For our folks.
Oh, great. Thanks, folks, for tuning into Dog Dish.
For 15 years, Good Citizen Dog has been the premier destination for dog training, dog daycare, dog boarding, and grooming services. Good Citizen uses the most modern, positive, reward-based training techniques. With our 2 locations in Western Washington and across the country, Good Citizen Dog is creating peaceful living with your dog. For more information about services or for franchise information, go to goodcitizendog.com. That's citizen with a Z. Or call 855-936-3649. That's 855-936-3649.